Hello, and welcome to Influential Thursday on the Joan Henry Show. And while I wait for a few more folks to join in, I just want to use this time to really hope that you're having a great day and that you're COVID free and that you're, following your local state um, information about as far as staying off the road, staying home. So yeah, I'll just do a few more minutes and then I will be 100% live. So give me 1 second. So again, yes, welcome to the Joan Henry Show today, Influential Thursday. And so I'm, of course, your host, Jamaican Joan, and I'm super excited to be here with you yet another Thursday. If you're tuning in for the first time, the Joan Henry Show is designed to bring you a weekly series of exciting programs that will inform, educate, and inspire you to start or take your business to another level. The show features topics such as mindset, financial literacy, turning your passion into profit, and a host of other business and motivational topics. So I would like to shout out all those who are viewing live and in advance, those who will be viewing the watch party. Special shout out to all my local viewers. And of course, I shall not forget my international listeners, Canada, Jamaica, Bahamas, Cayman Islands. You guys really rock. Thank you for tuning in every week. So tonight's featured guest is Dr. Cheryl Wood, whom you will hear from shortly. Tonight's influential quote is from someone by the name of Bryant McGill, and he said, "Every journey begins with the first step of articulating the intention and then becoming the intention." Let me introduce Dr. Cheryl Wood to you. See, I know Dr. Wood, but maybe you don't know. So let me give you a snippet of who this amazing woman really is. Dr. Cheryl Wood is an international motivational speaker, best-selling author, and master speaker development coach for women. She is committed to empowering and equipping women with the tools to courageously share their unique voice, their story, and their subject matter expertise. Dr. Wood provides specialized speaker training for both corporate and entrepreneurial women who are ready to articulate their message in a clear, concise, compelling, and captivating way. Whether the message is being shared in a boardroom, in a conference room, or in a media room, Dr. Wood believes that every message has power to create a shift in people's thoughts and perspectives, and therefore should be done with intention and strategy. Hello, Dr. Wood, and welcome to Influential Thursday on the Joan Henry Show. How are you doing today?
Well, hey, Miss Jamaican Joan. I am fantastic. As good as to be expected in the crazy times that we're in right now. But I praise God for life and breath in my body. My family is safe. I'm safe right now. And just praying for everybody during this pandemic. But otherwise, I'm doing fantastic. I'm staying energized and fueled up for when we come out of this. First of all, helping people through this time,
Yes.
Keeping them inspired, keeping them motivated, reminding them that we will come out of this. So you got to pay attention to what you're doing now while we're in it, which really kind of leads to the intentionality, so that when we come out of this, you won't be the person who has kind of sat on your butts and created excuses, and then not be able to produce once we're in a space where things are kind of back to a normal.
Okay, great. So tonight we're going to be talking about being intentional. So from your perspective, because I know you pride yourself on that word, you live for that word. So when I thought of what to have you talk about, I couldn't think of any better topic than being intentional. So share with us your personal definition of being intentional.
Yeah, I would say that it is all about being purposeful and being aware of what you most desire in your life, and then marrying that and connecting that to being actively and consistently in movement towards those things that you desire.
Mm-hmm.
So just that purposefulness and that awareness, aware of, when you talk about awareness, that means you've set in a space of introspection and you've really considered, what do I want? What makes me happy? What makes me fulfilled? What allows me to create a legacy? And you don't base it on anybody else's version of what success might look like. So you are very, very objective in analyzing, what does success look like for me? What is success? And that could be a realm of things. Success in terms of a relationship, and success in terms of, business, your career, your spirituality, your health and wellness, whatever that looks like. You have created an awareness, and then you are moving actively and then consistently in alignment with that, with clear purpose about where you want to get to. Zig Ziglar has this quote that says, you have to see the reaching in your own mind before you ever get to that place of achievement. So it's visualization, visualizing where you want to be, and then making sure that not only your words are intentional and your thoughts are intentional, but your actions, your behaviors, your patterns, that they truly are reflective of what you say you want. Anybody can talk about wanting success, but to be intentional is you are walking the talk. You are putting in the time, the effort, the energy, the work to produce and manifest what you say.
Okay, awesome. And so why should one be intentional?
When we're not intentional, what happens is we give ourselves permission to complain about what's not going right. We give ourselves permission to whine and kind of moan and groan, and really to even put blame on other people as to why we aren't happy, why we aren't fulfilled, or why we haven't achieved what we wanted, or on circumstances. So when you strip that away and you become intentional, there's a shift that happens where you hold yourself accountable for creating and manifesting what you said you wanted. So when I'm intentional, now I become so laser focused on what I want that I wouldn't dare blame someone else for the fact that I don't have it. I wouldn't dare blame a circumstance or a situation. I wouldn't dare allow distractions to be the reason that I don't achieve it. That means I don't have intentionality. So it's so important because it keeps you on track. It keeps you focused so that you actually get to the place that you want to be at. Without it, you're kind of in a holding pattern. And I don't think any of us want to be in a holding pattern in our lives, right? Some of us we spend more time either complaining, moaning, whining, and grinding, or daydreaming that we don't actually execute intention. Intention means I get out and I do something that puts me that much closer to the ultimate dream that I want. And again, it could be relationship-wise, health and wellness. It could be business. For me, most of the clients that I work with, it's specifically creating some level of business success. So if I have a client who works with me and I notice that they're not holding themselves accountable, if I notice that they're giving themselves an easy out for not accomplishing certain things, if I give them homework assignments or tasks and they come back and there's always an excuse, that says to me you're not intentional. Because intentional people have a level of tenacity that other people don't. They're like, oh, I'm going to make this happen. And they may not always know the how, and that's okay. You don't always have to have a full-blown blueprint of what it's going to look like, how it's going to play out. But you are purposeful. Going back to explaining what intentional means, you are purposeful and aware of the steps, even the small steps that you need to take to even get closer to the manifestation of what that dream is. So being intentional is everything. And without it, you are not going to move forward. You're going to find yourself stuck right where you are. You're going to find yourself 12 months from now still complaining about the same thing that you said you wanted 12 months before, like many of us do with a new year. Oh, it's a new year. Oh yeah, I got all these resolutions and goals. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And 12 months later, it's another new year and you putting the same goals on your list. That's a connection. There's a disconnect to you being intentional if you're not checking things off your list. You had either had too many distractions, or you had too many excuses, or you simply were not holding yourself accountable.
Absolutely. So, with that being said, what are some of the ways that one can become intentional?
So I would say number one, really give yourself permission to get to know you, right? That takes work. Really getting to know you means that sometimes you have to sit still and be quiet. So right now, there are a lot of people complaining about, certain things. This is not the time to complain. This is the time to say, wow, maybe for you haven't had that time of quiet before now. Maybe you haven't had that time of stillness before now, to really get a clear vision of what your next move needs to look like. So it's having gratitude for whatever space you're in and saying, okay, let me get to know myself right now. And this season of getting to know yourself might be different from last season,
Right.
because things may have transpired in your life, in your journey. And so what may have been applicable last season may not be applicable this season. So right where you are, get to know yourself. Sit in quietness, sit in stillness. Ask yourself some pivotal questions. What does success look like for me right now? Not what was happening 6 months ago, not what was happening 2 years ago in your life. What does it look like for me right now? What is it that I can add into my life or detract from my life that is going to allow me to live a more fulfilled, purposeful life? What are the specific goals that I want to manifest? And I really would limit it. You can have short-term and long-term projections and goals, but I would definitely have a short-term projection within the next 6 to 12 months. What do I want to see different than what I see right now? That's being intentional, because you got to write something down. If you're having that conversation or you're writing those things down, they say, scripture says, right? Write it down, make it plain, make your vision plain. So if you're writing it down, you got to respond to that question. You can't just leave that as an open-ended question that you don't answer. Right. So what is it that I need to either add to my life or omit from my life or discard from my life at this phase that I'm at, so that I can get closer to what I want? And then breaking down your long-term goals and your short-term goals into intermediate tasks that allow you to be intentional about getting to the goal. So if I say, it's not enough for me to just say, well, one day I want to be an international motivational speaker. Like, that sounds good. That sounds sexy. But hello, there have to be some things that I have to identify in between that I can break that big goal down into smaller tasks. And that might be, okay, every week, once a week, I need to attend a networking event. Now, right now, we're in a space where networking events are digital versus face to face, and that's okay. Are you taking advantage of that? Are you leveraging every opportunity? Another step might be, I need to increase my visibility through social media, and really assessing, how active am I in social media? How much engagement do I have with the people who are my target audience or my avatar? Like, really getting those deeper questions about what you want in this space that you're in right now. Okay. So getting to know yourself, creating goals, and then creating intermittent tasks that get you to the goals so that you can be intentional about the work that you're going to do, not just feel like, oh, I'll never get there. When you break it down in smaller tasks, it's like, okay, it's achievable. I can do that. I can go to one networking event every week. Okay, I can go to 2 conferences every year. Okay, I can, right? And whatever that list is. The other thing I would say is, be willing to take some big risks. Mm-hmm. Like, to be intentional. Like, when I first said, well, I wanted to be this international motivational speaker 10 years ago, there have been risks that I have consistently had to take. I'm talking things that scare me, that, so much that, like, my palms are sweating and my heart's racing. I'm like, questioning, am I really going to be able to do this? And in the back of your mind, you might be questioning, was that a good decision? But if it doesn't scare you, it doesn't grow you. So if you want to manifest something very specific, especially for women in business who want to manifest something specific, you have got to be willing to intentionally pursue and take some big risks that scare you, that are uncomfortable, that are unfamiliar. But on the other side of it, you have the awareness, that's going back to intentionality. Yeah. You have the awareness that my purposefulness in taking these risks is going to lead to something greater than what I'm experiencing right now. So it's not just taking risks just for the fun of it or the heck of it. It's taking risks with the purposeful awareness that I'm taking this risk for this reason. I'm taking this risk to get me closer to this big goal, or to get me closer to this step that's going to get me closer to this goal. So be willing to take some risks and be completely uncomfortable. And then the last two things I would say is abandon two things in being intentional. Abandon perfection paralysis and abandon procrastination. Like, those two things are huge. You can't be a perfectionist and you can't be a procrastinator and still be intentional. The two just don't marry. They don't go hand in hand. So that means when we talk about procrastination, not staying stuck where you are, not, saying, oh, I'm going to get to it, playing what we call the when then game. Oh, when this happens, then I'll move forward. Oh, when we get past the coronavirus, then I'll start my business. Or, oh, when my kids go to school full time, or when my kids are out of school and in college, whatever it is. Like, sometimes, especially as women, we take, we allow ourselves to hang on to procrastination as a crutch. Don't hold on to procrastination as a crutch. Release it and just do it. Take the risk. Have the tenacity, the boldness, and the courage to pursue it. And then on the opposite end of that is perfection paralysis, in that you do things, you move forward a couple steps, but then you get stuck because you're like, well, it's not perfect yet. Oh, let me tweak it a little bit more. Let me change it a little bit more. Let me read the manuscript one more time before I print the book. And that one more time becomes 10 more times. Like, please, you're never going to be perfect. So stop expecting perfection from yourself and just move. And then the last piece I would say, ways to become intentional, is to be conscious about who's in your inner circle. Like, really paying attention to who you're spending your time with, paying attention to who you give your energy to, paying attention to the communities and the tribes that you're hanging out with. Are they filling me up, or are they sucking me dry? Are they making me feel better when I come into that space? Are they making me feel like I'm Superwoman, I can do anything I want? Or are they making me feel like, man, I feel lower when I left that group than when I came to the group? Or I feel lower when I talk to the person than I did before I talked to them. You have got to identify the toxic spaces that you need to remove yourself from, and only allow good, positive energy into your space. Whether it's individual connections and relationships, or whether it is groups or tribes or communities that you're connected with, online or whatever it may be, you have to protect your energy. So make sure that you're connecting with other people who are equally as intentional as you are, because now that's going to become infectious. Energy is infectious. It's contagious. And if you're around good, positive, happy people who are always looking for the silver lining, they're always looking at the bright side of the picture, they're not hung up on excuses and complaints and whining and moaning, that's going to rub off on you.
Wow. There you have it, viewers. You have just heard from Dr. Cheryl Wood about being intentional. So, Dr. Wood, before we go, do you have any, well, first of all, I need for you to share with my viewers how people can find you, follow you, and also, do you have any upcoming virtual events that you need for folks to check out? Because I know we're not doing anything in person these days. So yeah, exactly. So whatever you would like to share now, this is your time. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you again for having me tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to connect with you. It's great to see you walking in your lane of brilliance. I love it, because that inspires so many other people. For those who want to connect with me directly, I'm on social media at Cheryl Empowers. Cheryl Empowers, and that's on Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter and YouTube and Facebook. I'm the same name, same handle on everything, Cheryl Empowers. And as well as my website is CherylEmpowers.com. And in terms of what I'm doing right now, just kind of amping up what I'm doing in the digital space. Actually, tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be hosting my very first free online networking event. It's a video networking event. It's really for entrepreneurs and speakers, just so that we can be amongst a tribe of other people who are keeping hope alive, who are like, this ain't going to get us down. We still got to generate revenue. We still got to serve the world with our greatness, even amidst this pandemic. Now, more than ever before, people need hope. They need inspiration. They need motivation. They need to be reminded of what they could be working on. Like during this downtime, you could be working on that book that you said you were going to write or creating content for a certain program. So actually, that first one is going to be tonight at 9 p.m. It's completely free. So people can jump in on that. The link, direct link, you don't have to sign up for it, just join, is bit.ly/online networking. That easy, that simple. Bit.ly, /online networking. And I assume based on how the response is tonight, which I think we'll get a full house, this might be something I'm going to do on a weekly basis, or even, maybe just twice a month. So we'll see how it goes tonight.
Okay, and once we get done, you could drop that link in the feed for those who are watching, that they can probably just click from there.
Awesome. Yeah.
And because I'm going to share this once I'm done. So, viewers, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I'll be saving all these amazing broadcasts. And it's simply Influential Thursday. Please subscribe to the channel. And so, Dr. Wood, I thank you again for bringing us your message tonight on being intentional. I thank the viewers for tuning in. And this has been Influential Thursday. And so join me next week at the same time, same platform, for more of Influential Thursday. For the month of April, I will be featuring all guys. So to kick things off next week will be Mr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. So please tune in. Again, thank you, Dr. Wood, and continue to stay blessed. Continue to do what you're doing, because you are just creating such a huge impact that it's just words cannot adequately describe, your impact on everyone that you come in contact with. And before I go, I must share the story, because this is important, and I do not take people's kindness for granted. I remember back in 2013, I came to the Listen Vision studio where you had a program, and I said, I would love to host a radio show one day. And I remember you asking me, we were walking there in DC on Georgia Avenue, and you said, so what's stopping you? I said, girl, my accent, nobody would understand me. And I remember you just stopped dead in the track of walking, and you put your hand on your hip and you said, girl, if you don't get that show started, people are going to love you. You're going to be different. Girl, you better go get that show. And you just give me the look of a motherly look, like, girl, you better. And so needless to say, that was April. And I remember that June, I launched the Joan Henry Show on Blog Talk Radio. And I've never looked back since then, that you gave me that sense of hope and confidence that, yes, you can do it. And I'm sure people are enjoying my accent week after week. And thanks to you, because I probably would have been in the same space, like, nobody gonna understand my thick Jamaican accent. But now people are loving it. They actually want me to speak real Jamaican versus trying to speak.
Exactly, because people like me, we're intrigued with your accent. We love it. We're like, oh, I wish I had an accent like that. And that's the thing. Like so many women, we'll diminish what we have that somebody else wishes they had, and that they want. And so I love that you have just kind of jumped out there and you are doing it. So congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you for just taking me out of that space of fear and fear of the unknown. So again, I thank you so much, Dr. Wood. You stay blessed and stay blessed with your family. Be safe. So viewers, join me next week, same time, same network, for another broadcast of Influential Thursday. And remember that it takes both rain and sunshine to build a rainbow. I've been your host, Jamaican Joan, and until next time, you take care and make this $1 million day. Jamaican Joan and Dr. Wood out.